you can see, we are going to be talking about, yes, you guessed it, more NBA trades. That's only because the trade deadline is here. It is close. It is just right within the grasp of a lot of NBA franchises that could make or break teams. So we're going to be talking about some pretty interesting late minute NBA trade deadline deals that could, or maybe just for funsies, talk about some trades that are going to be going on. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. But with that being said, today, well, actually yesterday, as you guys watching this video, was a double upload day, which means yes, I did upload 2 times yesterday. I uploaded a Star Wars Battlefront 2 gameplay video and a new NBA 2K rebuild of the Detroit Pistons. That was very tough, and both of them are really cool. So if you're a big fan of Star Wars or video games, or if you're a big fan of 2K, NBA, or video games, or even just a fan of the channel, make sure to check out both of those videos. And yeah, make sure to leave a like down below. Maybe comment down below a player you'd like to make a trade, your favorite team, and what they need to maybe improve, or a player you'd like to see on your favorite team. Make sure to comment down below. I love hearing you guys' opinions about that stuff. Yeah, but other than that, subscribe to the channel. Almost at 6K. And let's jump into tonight's video. So this article we're going to be looking at is called NBA Trade Ideas for Every Team 1 month before the deadline, which in NBA terms is very close. So could these trade happen, tomorrow? Maybe could they happen, the day of the trade deadline? I think yes. The NBA is very crazy that way, and there are a lot of players in the NBA that are not safe. This NBA season has been so weird. It wouldn't surprise me if something crazy like a big time blockbuster trade happened. So I guess we can just sort of look into the future and try to see what we can find here. Obviously, all 30 NBA teams in alphabetical order, starting off with the Atlanta Hawks, and theirs is bad, in my opinion, not the greatest one. It's the Hawks get George Hill in return for Tony Snell, a first-round pick. So for Tony Snell and a first-round pick, they get George Hill. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Atlanta needs more guard play, especially at the point guard position when they have Chris Dunn and Rajon Rondo, unless they're not playing. I don't think getting George Hill is going to help them out a lot. I mean, I get it if it's like a cap dump. If it's a cap dump, this makes a lot of sense, but giving up a first-round pick for a cap dump, that's kind of terrifying. I don't really like this. I don't think this really helps them out really at all. If anything, the Hawks just need better two-guard play. No offense to Bogdanovich. I don't think he was really the right move, even though we all thought that was a great deal that they did for Bogdanovich, getting them out of Sacramento. I don't really think that was the best fit. But then getting George Hill, I don't really like this trade at all. For the Boston Celtics, they have two trade offers here. One of them is the Boston Celtics get James Ennis for Carson Edwards and Romeo Langford. This is okay. They get better forward play. They don't really have a lot of forwards very deep in the guard section, definitely. And the second trade is Evan Fournier for a first-round pick. Whoever wrote this article, do you not watch the Celtic games? Sure, Evan Fournier is a good player, but dude, does this person know that the Celtics need a center? that's crazy. Anyways, both these trades, I mean, obviously Evan Fournier is a really good player, but are you gonna have Evan Fournier come off the bench? I mean, that's a really good six-man. Like, that's definitely like a six-man of the year candidate for Evan Fournier. But they don't need that. I mean, they obviously do, and the Celtics need depth for sure, but they more need defense in the interior, aka a big-time center. So if I could trade a first-round pick, I would try to get like a Clint Capella, a Andre Drummond. They could even get Al Horford back on their team. Like, I would take Al Horford back on their team than just 6'8" Tristan Thompson and like 6'7" Daniel Tice. Like, I'm not trying to have those guys try to guard players like Embiid, Giannis. Maybe if they make it to the finals, who knows? Like a Jokic. Like, those guys can't compete. No offense, they're good and they 100% so down for this trade. If I'm Charlotte, my God. Even if I'm Orlando, I'm doing this trade. Like, this isn't a bad trade for either team. You get Mo Bamba for Charlotte, who are desperately looking for their future big man. Obviously, they have like Cody Zeller or Tyler Zeller. I think they have Cody Zeller, who's, hurt a lot, and I think Biyombo was starting for a while too at center. And they could get a young, high potential upside player like Mo Bamba to pair up with LaMelo Ball. That's amazing. And then for the Magic's sake, they finally get rid of Mo Bamba, letting him finally spread his wings, get ready to fly, turn into that butterfly we all know he can be. And in return, you get Malik Monk, who is just a deadly scorer in the NBA, and Vernon Carey Jr. is also a pretty good young player, second round pick. That's not bad. I think for both teams, this makes kind of sense, a lot of sense actually. So, Charlotte, if you can do this trade, please, 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 please do this trade. The Chicago Bulls get two. They get Garrett Temple. Oh, actually, Boston gets Garrett Temple in exchange for Carson Edwards and Devontae Green. That's kind of like an average trade. Oh, this one, the Boston Celtics get that young in exchange for a first-round pick. No. I think the Bulls right now are in a very weird spot where they could either be, a 7th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, which you're basically your draft pick would be useless then, or they could drop all the way to like 13th in the playoff standings. So I still don't think I'd do that. That's not like a make or break thing. And plus, it's just a Boston Celtics first round pick. I mean, we all meme and joke about how bad Boston's playing this year, which I think they are. As of right now, they're playing pretty meh. But it's not like getting that draft pick is going to be like, oh my God, we have a potential top 10 pick. That pick's going to be like top 20, like maybe. Even if the Celtics had a really bad year, they're still going to make the playoffs no matter what. So, I don't think it's really worth that unless it's a cap dump. I don't know. I don't really know how many years Thad has on his contract. If it's a multi-million-dollar deal, that's actually a good idea. But if it's not, I don't think we really need to mess with anything. Plus, I mean, I think veteran leadership is what the team really needs. That's vet. I think it actually adds to the Chicago Bulls. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, wow. Okay, so the Cleveland Cavaliers get James Johnson, Dwight Powell, and a first-round pick from Dallas in exchange for Andre Drummond. Whoa. Drummond to the Mavs to pair up with KP and Luka. Whew. That's dangerous, man. That's definitely like an old 2000s team. 2 7-footers in the paint with one really good guard. Like, that's some insane type of classic style of NBA basketball. Man, if I'm Cleveland, do I do that? You get a first-round pick. You get Dwight Powell, who can play the 4, which is what you need. I mean, they have Larry Nance Jr., who's okay, but Dwight Powell is also pretty good. And a first-round pick. You get the cap dump. You get rid of Drummond's contract. I think you do this trade. If you're the Cavs, sure, you could probably get more. But then again, like, didn't they trade for Andre Drummond for like a second-round pick or something crazy like that? They didn't really give up a lot to get Drummond, so even just getting a first-round pick for Drummond, I think is an upgrade, right? Here's another one for Dallas. Oh my God. Dallas Mavericks receive Victor Oladipo. Luka and Victor Oladipo. Don't even get me started. In exchange for Josh Green, James Johnson, and a first-round pick. So, the Rockets get Josh Green, who I watched a little bit of in college because, as you guys know, I'm an Arizona Wildcats fan, and a first-round pick, and then James Johnson, who's a vet, for Victor Oladipo. If you didn't know, it just sort of got reported that Victor Oladipo declined a $24 million contract extension with the Houston Rockets. He declined it. He's looking for a long-term deal, which kind of makes sense. So, he is later in his career. Am I Dallas? Do I do this? Man, I don't know. For Dallas, it's so weird because Luka is so good right now that you could win a title with Luka in the next, 3 to 5 years. Like, he's that good of a player. But then again, Luka just turned 22 years old. You don't need to rush the process that fast unless he's getting angry and upset. Then you need to start doing that. I think Victor Oladipo isn't really in the right trajectory with Luka Doncic. But him being on that team would definitely secure think I would do it, even if it's a slight chance you can keep Victor Oladipo. I think you do it, especially just for giving up a first-round pick and Josh Green. Like, that's not going to kill you in the long run. I say, do this trade. We have the Denver Nuggets with Andre Iguodala and Duncan Robinson going to the Denver Nuggets in exchange for Will Barton and Bol Bol. Whoa. So for Denver, obviously this is a trade centered around a win-now type of team with Denver, obviously with their big-time MVP candidate Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, getting a vet like Andre Iguodala, and then a great shooter to pair up with Jamal Murray. He's a good three-point shooter as well, Duncan Robinson. In exchange, you get for the Heat a good start potential type player like Will Barton, who could start and replace for Duncan Robinson and get better defense, in my opinion, out of him. Not as good of a shooter, but still a good shooter. And Bol Bol, who is definitely a process player, but we all talk about how Miami needs a bigger center when Bam is not playing. I don't really see a problem with this trade. This is actually kind of a nice trade for both teams. I think I wouldn't be mad if this happened in real life. I don't think so. The only thing you can really argue is, obviously Miami is very big on Duncan Robinson. They don't really want to give him up for really anything. But Will Barton, that's actually a good pickup for Miami. I think he would fit the culture really well, being a very good, hard working player. I think he'd work well for them, especially with getting Bol Bol. I wouldn't be mad if either team did that trade. I'm not going to lie. That's actually a nice one. Oh, Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons receive Terrence Davis, Patrick McCaw, and a first-round pick from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for Mason Plumlee. If I'm Detroit, I am 10,000% doing this trade. One thing I did not know is that Mason Plumlee signed a pretty large contract with the Detroit Pistons, which I don't know why they would give him that much money. Not my team, not my problem, I guess. And I don't know why they would do that, but definitely freeing up that cap space, and in exchange getting a pretty decent first-round pick. You're getting some young players like Patrick McCaw and Terrence Davis, not bad. I think I would do this trade if I'm Detroit. Would I do this trade if I'm Toronto? I mean, yeah, Mason Plumlee is a play-now ready player who can help out a team who's trying to make a good playoff run. He could definitely be, with that. He's been on really good teams with Portland and Denver. They could definitely help out that team. So I think for both teams, it's not that bad of a trade. I think this is actually pretty realistic. We now have the Golden State Warriors, and for this trade, let me get the nice and comfy for this. The Chicago Bulls receive from the Golden State Warriors Kelly Oubre Jr., Eric Pascal, Minnesota's first-round pick. They get a second-round pick, another Golden State Warrior first-round pick, and another Golden State Warrior first-round pick. So we have two Warrior picks, the Minnesota pick, a second-round pick for Zach LaVine. Yes, Zach LaVine to the Warriors. Oh my God, could you imagine Steph Curry and Zach LaVine? And then I think he would be on the contract for next year, so you would have Steph, Zach, Clay at the three. Oh my God, that is just offense galore. That's terrifying. Well, okay, so it's the Golden State Warriors trade. Would I do this trade? Is Zach LaVine worth 3 first-round picks? Oh my God. Oh man, I don't think so. At least for that team, don't get me wrong, I think Zach LaVine is definitely worth a lot of draft picks, but for a team that has Steph Curry, like Zach LaVine needs the ball in his hand a lot to be very effective. I don't think pairing Zach with Steph is a great idea. And then you would have Clay, which Clay is already a great player, doesn't need the ball in his hand. And that's why I think they make such a good duo, is Steph and Clay. They're so opposite, but fit together perfectly. I think if adding Zach LaVine into the mix would be bad. I think if they could get like an upgraded Draymond Green type player, I think that would be better. Or if they could have traded for, like, again, last year Jones, Xavier Tillman, Justice Winslow, and a first-round pick from the Utah Jazz in exchange for Daniel House and Victor Oladipo. So it's a trade of Justice Winslow and a first-round pick for Victor Oladipo and Daniel House. Bro, no. I mean, if you're Houston and you take this deal, you're actually not all right in the head. That you can get, I'm assuming, more for Victor Oladipo. I'm assuming you would want more. You would want young assets, but again, they fumbled the bag terribly with the James Harden trade. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took a trade like this. But this is a bad trade for Houston. If you're Memphis, Victor Oladipo, Jaren Jackson Jr. Bro, that's terrifying. That is a terrifying trio. Oh my God, that might be like a top 5-6 seed in the West next year, man. If they could keep that team together, that's scary. If you're Houston, I don't even want to be thinking about a trade like that. Indiana, they get Austin Rivers in exchange for 2 second-round picks. Is Austin Rivers playing that bad? Is he only worth second-round picks? That's kind of bad. I mean, yeah, if you can give up, second-round picks for, a player that you need for, a potential playoff run, this is an easy yes for me. And if you're New York, I'm hoping that you can get something with those second-round picks, I guess. For the LA Clippers, they get DeLon Wright. The Detroit Pistons get Terrence Ferguson, Terrence Mann, and a first-round pick. And the Sixers, who are also involved in this three-way trade, get Wayne Ellington and Lou Will. Man. Let's see, if I am the Clippers, I'm doing this trade. You get a very good player in DeLon Wright, and of course the losing Lou Will, but he's getting up there in age. I think getting a player like DeLon Wright is sort of maybe an upgraded version of Lou Will. Maybe not obviously, IQ-wise, but fit-wise might fit a little bit better. And if you're Philly, of course you do this trade. You get Lou Will back in Philly, and Wayne Ellington, who's a great three-point shooter to surround Embiid and Ben Simmons with, of course. And if you're Detroit, you get a first-round pick, which if you're Detroit, you're wrapping your arms around as many assets as you can, building for the future, getting another first-round pick, and getting an athletic potential player like Terrence Ferguson. Not a bad pickup, so this is actually not that bad of a trade. Next up, we have the LA Lakers, and they get Wayne Ellington in exchange for Alfonso McKinney and two second-round picks. Ooh. LA Lakers getting Wayne Ellington, of course, like I said, he's a good three-point shooter, surrounding shooters around LeBron and AD. Of course, you would do this trade. Alfonso McKinney's not going to break your back. Losing him and getting rid of second-round picks again. Players are not going to potentially not turn really into anything, so it's a win-now trade, and I think that's a great trade. Next up, we have Memphis, and the Memphis Grizzlies get Buddy Hield. Yo, that's fire. In exchange for Gorgie Jang and Justice Winslow. Okay. So this is definitely a cap dump trade for the Kings. Getting rid of Buddy Hield's humongous contract that he's on. I think it's like a 3 or 4 year deal worth a lot of money. And getting rid of that would help them out a lot. Cap space wise, helping them build a younger team. And getting, a really good three-point shooter with, John Jaren, with Buddy Hield. That's dangerous. That's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, I would do this trade. It's a cap dump for the Kings, plus you get somewhat a reliable player in Justice Winslow, and then you get Buddy Hield. And Memphis was a team that just needs as much, talent as they can to surround, John Jaren. I don't think that's really bad for either team. That's not bad at all. Miami gets Al-Farouq Aminu, Gary Clark, and Evan Fournier. Ooh. Fournier on the Heat. I actually like that a lot. In exchange for Myers Leonard, Kendrick Nunn, Casey Okpala, I think I say his last name, and Kelly Olynyk. Sure, you get the defense capability with Al-Farouq Aminu. You get the offense of Evan Fournier. But I don't think the Heat would ever really give up Kendrick Nunn unless it is for another point guard. So I don't think they would do this trade, because Kendrick Nunn is actually kind of a bigger piece to offensive player, and he needs the ball in his hand a lot to be effective. With a team that already has Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, like that's enough players that need the ball in their hands a lot. If they could get again like a player like Jonathan Isaac, who is a good player, can play with the ball in his hands, but is very effective without the ball in his hand, would be a better fit. So if I could make a trade offer for like Jared Culver, Josh Okogie, and maybe a future first round pick for Jonathan Isaac, who you could just say, oh, he's an injury prone player. Oh my God, Magic, let us take him in, let us take him off your hands. Then that's a trade I would do. But I think Jared Culver could turn into their starting small forward eventually. Josh Okogie is a good bench player for them. I think you keep those guys instead of just throwing that away just to get Aaron Gordon, who has a big contract, who may not even fit very well with that team. So we have a trade for the New Orleans Pelicans. And again, let me get comfy for this. The Houston Rockets receive Alexander Walker, Eric Bledsoe, Nico Melli, a first-round pick, and another first-round pick. So they get a Lakers first-round pick and a New Orleans first-round pick. So 2 first-round picks for Victor Oladipo and PJ Tucker. So the Pelicans get Oladipo and Tucker for 2 first and Eric Bledsoe. Wow. Man, so you would have Lonzo, Oladipo, Ingram, Zion, Steven Adams, PJ Tucker, Jackson Hayes, Josh Hart. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, that's a fire team. Oh my God. If you can even sign Oladipo for like a one and done deal, just like, Victor, please, just like let us keep you for 1 extra year. Like let us show you we could make a very good run next year. I don't think that would really help them now, because obviously they're kind of in the rut, and that would maybe push them to like an 8th, 7th, 6th seed, which is good, but they would run into like a Laker Clipper team, which they would still probably get dominated by. But I would do this trade 1,000% if I'm the Pelicans, and if I'm Houston, this is definitely a better trade than the other Victor Oladipo trade, because you get, Eric Bledsoe, who's a play now ready player, but I think he comes off the books after this year, maybe after next year, and then 2 first-round picks. That's pretty fire. So, man, if I'm Pelicans, and if I could get, again, Alonzo, Oladipo, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Steven Adams, starting 5, I am doing that trade 1,000%. That is fire. That is terrifying. That's like a 2K team. That's crazy. We next have the Knicks, and the Knicks get JJ Redick in exchange for Austin Rivers and a 2nd-round pick. If I'm New York, am I doing this trade? I think yes. I think JJ and his veteran leadership would help that team a lot, especially going into the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, which is knocking on wood, I'm not trying to jinx them, but if they do end up making the playoffs, they're going to need some veterans to help them out. I think JJ's a perfect fit. I think that's a definitely a good trade. Here's one for Oklahoma City. And this one is OKC gets Romeo Langford, Tristan Thompson, Carson Edwards. The Boston Celtics get George Hill, and Orlando gets Jeff Teague. I wouldn't do this trade. Well, oh man. Maybe I would do this trade. Maybe. They also have another trade, which is a Boston Celtic first-round pick in exchange for Al Horford, which is funny because I just was talking about getting Al Horford back in Boston. If Boston could just trade a first-round pick for Al Horford, I don't think that's a really bad idea. It's not the perfect pick for Boston, but it's a big man, and that's what they need. Well, another big-time trade, we get Hernan Gomez, Jake Layman, and D'Angelo Russell going to the Orlando Magic in exchange for Cole Anthony, Aaron Gordon, and Evan Fournier. Oh my God. 76ers, and they get George Hill in exchange for Mike Scott, Vincent Poirier, and a first-round pick. Yeah, I think you do this trade. I mean, obviously Philly is in a very good spot right now, and definitely a title contending team. Getting a veteran, defensive player like George Hill is what you need. Easy. Yes, you do this. If you're OKC, do you do this trade? Yes, you get another draft pick. Pretty simple. Phoenix Suns, they get PJ Tucker in exchange for Javion Carter, Abdel Nadir, and a second-round pick. If you're Phoenix, do you do this trade? Absolutely. You're a playoff team. It looks like you guys are maybe, they could be the third seed, or maybe even the second seed by the end of the year. Crazy how well they're playing. They're super hot right now. No pun intended. But I think it's a good trade if you're Houston. Again, I think you could try to get more for PJ Tucker than just one second-round pick. At least that's just my opinion. Here's one for Portland, and they get Khem Birch in exchange for CJ, LB, Harry Giles, and 2 second-round picks. I think Birch is a big man. This is a very interesting trade. I've never really seen Birch play ever. Like, I don't obviously get to watch a lot of Magic games, so I don't know how good he is, but I mean, if he's a play-now-ready player, I'm down. Like, obviously with all these injuries, and knocking on wood for that, we need players who can play now, who aren't injury-prone, and hopefully he can help us out with that. If that's him, that's fine. That's fine with me. That's not a bad trade. I mean, obviously we get rid of CJ LB, who's a rookie, but I don't really think he's going to be, turning into anything super special. We get the Kings. The Kings getting Aaron Gordon and Alfred Camino for Buddy Hield. Whoa. I say yeah, you do this trade. You can start Gordon. You finally let Tyrese Halliburton take over the two guard spots that we all hope he can be. And you're getting off the big contract of Buddy Hield. I think that works. And then for Orlando, you get a very, 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 very good two-point shooter and scorer in Buddy Hield to pair alongside with Markelle to, have good kickouts with the Vucevic in the post. Makes sense for both teams. I say yes. The Spurs get Al Horford and Mike Muscala in exchange for LaMarcus Aldridge, Trey Lyles, and a second-round pick. Whoa. No, I would not do this trade. I mean, Al Horford is on a 2-year deal. He has 2 years left on his deal, and they're big-time deals. Big-time years. He's getting paid like $20 million plus in those years. Why would the Spurs do this trade? And because he just gets LaMarcus Aldridge, who's actually having a pretty decent year this year. We're sweeping that under the rug. That didn't happen. This one is Toronto getting Daniel House and PJ Tucker, and the Houston Rockets getting Terrence Davis, Patrick McCall, and a first-round pick. If I'm Toronto, do I do this trade? Absolutely. Getting PJ Tucker, you guys are a playoff team, playoff-ready player. That's fire. And even Daniel House is a good player as well. And if I'm Houston, you get a first-round pick, which is a lot better than 2 seconds or even 3 second-round picks. I'd rather get 1 first-round pick. And Patrick McCall. Some young players. Not bad for both teams. I'd try to keep Daniel House. That's actually a good future pick for them. But if you have to get rid of PJ Tucker, that's fine. This one for Utah, they get David Nwamba in exchange for 2 second-round picks and Juan Morgan. This one's kind of an insignificant team. I don't know. Sure. I don't know. If you're a Utah Jazz fan, let me know what you feel about that trade. I don't really have any opinion on it. It's kind of a casual trade. This one's kind of cool, though. Last one. Washington Wizards get Josh Okogie in exchange for Troy Brown and a second-round pick. That's kind of cool. I can kind of see Troy Brown Jr. and Josh Okogie being on the same level. 2 young players, 2 young wings who, play some defense, can score. Meh. This is like a toss-up trade. You're not really losing anything or gaining anything. They're kind of similar. Sorry I have to end the video on such a not so significant trade, but definitely some very interesting ones. I think definitely all of the Victor Oladipo trades are very interesting, especially what has come out with Victor Oladipo not signing the reported extension